Hello, everyone. I am Dave, the prayer guy. Thank you so much for joining me, for watching this video, for getting encouragement, and to think more deeply about prayer, especially this idea of missional prayer, of praying for the advancement of God's kingdom, the making of disciples, and the growing of current disciples. I mean, that is my vision. That is my ministry, is to encourage all Christians to be praying focusedly in on God's mission for your own discipleship, for the discipleship of others, and for new disciples. So let's get started. Today, I want to start with reading a verse. Now, it's found, actually, it's going to be three verses, three short verses in the book of Thessalonians. So, First Thessalonians chapter 5, 16 through 18. And it says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." All right, so I want to focus in on that verse 17, pray continually. I have heard before that in other translations might it be translated pray without ceasing, and that's hard. How is that possible? Is it possible to be praying continually, to be praying without any ceasing, without stopping? And so here's my thoughts on how that is possible. Now, the next thing I'm going to share with you, I can't take credit. I heard it from a coworker. I've lost contact with him. I don't even remember his name. I wish I did remember who he was, and so I can look him up on Facebook. And when I worked with him, it was actually before Facebook. It was actually during the days of, I think MySpace was around, which I was never a part of. But anyways, um, he said that if you have the presence of mind, that you're always in God's presence, then you are kind of praying continually. And I thought about that over the years, and I agree with him that if you constantly remind yourself that you're in God's presence, that you can kind of stop and pause and say something to Him, then go about what you are doing, then you are in some ways praying continually, praying without ceasing. You're going throughout your day with God, communicating to Him, talking with Him, and engaging in the activity, engaging whatever activity you're doing, whether it's work, hanging out with family, um, going to an amusement park. You're kind of praying. You're doing that with God, no matter what it is, the mundane, the exciting, the everyday. It doesn't really matter. And so let's always remember that. Let's always remember that we're with God, and so that we can stop. We can quickly say something to him, maybe try to get something. Right now I'm thinking about Nehemiah. Chapter 2, Nehemiah was in the presence of the king. He was doing his job, and the king kind of noticed he was downcast. And in those days, you don't look sad in front of the king. You always look happy. But at this particular moment, he wasn't. And he quickly prayed. He realized that God was with him, and he quickly prayed. And then he was able to express why he was feeling sad. So, yeah, we can always talk to him. So when something comes up, you can quickly pray, and then you can go deal with it. You can quickly say, "Lord, help me," or whatever. Maybe even take a second to see if he's going to say anything. So just be present to what he is doing as you are listening. And even as you're listening to somebody else, you can kind of be in tune to God's presence and see if he's saying anything that you might speak into this. All right, so this is something I do a lot. I pause and will say a quick prayer whenever I feel like it's needed. And sometimes my prayer walks are more about spending time with God than it is speaking with Him. I'll get on the headphones and have worship music, or I might even just decide not to have the worship music and just say, okay, I'm just going to go and walk with God. And the nice thing is, we can always talk to Him. I mean, He is like, he's just amazing that he can listen to me. He's probably listening to me right now as I'm making this video, probably guiding me along. Actually, I know he's guiding me along with this video. Um, and so you can just stop and talk to him. And that, I bet, I would be surprised if there's not somebody in the world, especially in the age of COVID, that somebody isn't praying, that somebody isn't praying about something. So God knows about this video, and he's listening to that prayer. And so just remember that he can listen to more than one person at a time. So before I close up the vlog, I want to say, hey, buddy, former coworker, if you're out there, comment on this. Look me up, Dave Roderick on Facebook. Love to know what you're doing. And with that being said, uh, may the Lord be with you. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.